Hello, this is our week 1, day 2 teaching video with solving equations using sketching. And the equations are going to have variables on both sides. So we're going to sketch them and then solve them. I'm going to do example 2 and then hopefully I'll have time also to do example 3. I'm going to start off with drawing the line so we can see our left and our right sides. And on my left side I've got 5 x's. Remember, x's are triangles, so I'm going to draw 5 triangles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. On my right side, I have 3 x's, so that's 3 triangles. And I also have a 10 cube. And this is different from yesterday when you only had the variables on one side. Now I have it on both. So now I'm going to go about solving this. And one of the things that we find out is I don't really want to do the guess and check because that would be a lot of guessing and checking. So I'm going to do a method where we actually visually use the sketch to solve it. And one of the things that we need to remember with math is that there's a rule of math, one of the rules of math, that says we can do the same thing to both sides of an equation. As long as we do it to both sides, the same thing, then the equation stays balanced. It's still basically the same equation. So what I'm noticing is that I've got triangles or x's on both sides. And I want to try to get my triangles together on one side so that they're isolated and they're by themselves because I want to know what does one triangle or one x equal. So if I'm looking at it, I'm thinking, well, since I've got triangles on both sides, I can take away some of those triangles as long as I do it to both sides the same amount. So I notice I've got one here on the right I can take away, but then I have to take away one on the left. So I'm doing the same on both sides. It's still equal. And if I take away a second one on the right, I have to take away a second one on the left, and a third one on the right, and a third one on the left. And now I don't have any more triangles on the right to take away, so I've got to stop taking away triangles, and this is what I'm left with. So I'm just going to resketch here. I've got these 2 triangles left on my left side and a 10 cube on the right side. And now we basically have what we ended up with yesterday, where we would do the guess and check because we're trying to find out what numbers I can put in here. It has to be the same numbers so that when I add them together, I get a 10. Remember, you can't do something like a 6 and a 4 or a 9 and a 1. They have to be the same number. So if I were to try, say, 3 plus 3, if I add that, well, 3 plus 3 is 6, and that's not 10. That's too small. So I need to go bigger. I'm going to try, let's say, 4 and 4. Well, 4 plus 4 is 8. That's still too small. So how about 5? If I say 5 plus 5, well, 5 plus 5 is 10. Okay, so if I put a 5 and a 5 over there, I get a 10. So essentially what I have is I've got 10 on my right side, but now with the 5 and the 5, I've got a 10 on my left side. So now I've got the same thing on both sides. 5 is the number that makes it the same, or that balances it. So now I know that one triangle is equal to a 5. That means x is equal to a 5, and we've solved the equation. I'm going to come over here and look at number 3 because it's a little more complicated. I'm going to draw my line. And one of the things I'm going to notice is that I've got an x on the right side, but there's no number in front of it. Well, if you've got a variable without a number, then the number's a 1, and it does help if you put it there, so I am going to put that 1 over there in front of the x. You don't normally see it, but it is there, and you need to realize that that's what that means. So now I'm going to go about sketching it. So I've got 2 x's here. I'm going to change my color, and that makes 2 triangles, and this 2 cube. That's a constant, a number without a letter. And on this side, I've got the 1x and the 5 cube. And once again, I need to take away the same thing from both sides, and I'm always going to start with the triangles. If I've got triangles on both sides, x's, I'm going to take those away. So I notice I can take away 1 on the right, which means I have to take away 1 on the left. And then that's all the triangles that I can take away because I don't have any more on the right side. So I'm going to jot down what I have left. I have a triangle and that 2 cube on the left side and a 5 cube on the right side. Well, I can also take away cubes because I've got them on both sides. So I'm going to go back over here and I always want to try to get my triangle by itself because remember at the end I want to know what does a triangle equal. So I want that by itself. I want to isolate it. So I always go to the side with the triangle. And I'm going to try to take away that 2 cube. So if I take away the 2 cube here, which I can do, but if I take it away from that side, then I need to take it away, which is a subtract, from the right side. And then I can just do 5 minus 2 is 3. And all I have left on the left side is one triangle. And one triangle equals an x. So now I know that x equals 3, and I don't even have to do the guess and check because I just had one triangle left.